So there's this clip going viral online of a dozen women being asked the following question: do we need men? Most answered very quickly, no. And only one said she thought women needed a man in their lives, only one. But when men were asked a similar question, do we need women, most of them said yes. So why do you think that is?
Because men are useless. I mean, and by the way, I want to differentiate between straight men and gay men, because I think I would die without gay men. Nobody can gossip like gay men. Nobody can help you accessorize like gay men. Nobody can help you keep you from doing harm to yourself like gay men. But with the exception of somebody like Steve, I think Steve is very self-sufficient.
That's Joy's husband.
But like my husband, it takes a village of women to make sure that he's not emaciated, starving, and living in his own filth. He can, you know.
Yeah.
How about you guys? But I feel you guys are married to people that are more.
I have Handy Manny at home. No, he fixes everything. When things go bump in the night, he's the one that goes downstairs. When there's a bug to be exterminated, he does the extermination.
Nope.
When there is something to be fixed, he fixes it. He throws out the trash and he throws out the recyclables.
It's honestly pathetic watching the women on The View cackling over whether men are even necessary, like half the population is just some outdated relic. Imagine being a man today, constantly told you're either useless or only valuable when you're breaking your back to meet impossible standards. Then you turn on the TV and see these so-called thought leaders laughing about how irrelevant you are. It's not just disrespectful, it's a joke at your expense. And the double standards? Off the charts. If a husband doesn't help, he's useless. If he does, he's a pushover. Stay quiet, emotionally unavailable, open up, weak, or secretly gay. No matter what, men are the punchline, and these women are eating it up on national television like it's peak comedy. The worst part? This garbage is mainstream. Misogyny gets canceled instantly, but misandry? That's just entertainment. Men are shamed for existing, and then everyone wonders why they're checking out, emotionally, financially, and physically. Respect isn't a one-way street. Keep humiliating men for clout, and don't be shocked when they stop showing up. If my wife ever dragged me on national TV, she'd be single before the commercial break. Public disrespect isn't edgy, it's relationship suicide. But these women aren't interested in healthy partnerships. They're chasing applause from a studio audience. This is the modern world, misandry, rebranded, and broadcast for views. And men? They're done. Walking away from relationships, from this twisted cultural game, and from women who think tearing men down makes them empowered.
If you want to date a wealthy man with a lot of money, but you don't know where to find them, I'm going to tell you where to go. The first place you're going to go and the first thing you're going to do is put on a really cute hot girl walk outfit, and you're going to find a very wealthy neighborhood in your city. You're going to go for a hot girl walk. Next place, whatever city you live in, go to the downtown area, find a really nice high-rise condo or apartment. Make sure one of these condos or apartments has a restaurant or a bar on the bottom floor. Go in, sit at the bar, wait and see how many men come up to you. There are so many men that go to the bar by themselves, especially if it's a bar where they already reside, looking to buy a pretty girl a drink. The next place you are going to look is exclusive events or conferences. I cannot tell you how many times I've just been at a nice hotel in Miami for an event myself, or even just to get drinks with a girlfriend, and all of a sudden there's a huge conference going on with a lot of men. Go to these conferences. Go to the hotels where these conferences are at, because you know what these men do after the conferences? They go get a drink at the bar. Next place you are going to go if you're trying to find a wealthy man is a high-end bar or a really nice speakeasy. Here down in South Florida, there are speakeasies everywhere. A lot of them are very exclusive. You either have to know someone to get in or you have to have a code to get in. These men just hang out there drinking their whiskey out of the glass, waiting to talk to a pretty girl. Next place you are going to look is a high-end gym. That's where all the daddies go. So if you have an Equinox, next place is going to be a golf course. I feel like this is just a universally known fact, but all of the wealthy men are into golf. So whether you know nothing about golf and you go and make a fool of yourself with your girlfriends and pretend to know how to golf just to run into men and be like, oh my God, can you teach me? Which brings me to my next point, country clubs. If there's a way you can finesse yourself into getting into a country club, do it. Go to the pool, go to the restaurant, walk the neighborhoods. This is definitely where you're going to meet a wealthy man. The last one on this list for now is a luxury hotel or resort. If you can get yourself into a resort's pool, you are set. The only downside that I will say to trying to find a wealthy man at a luxury resort or hotel is they're probably just visiting. But depending on what you're looking for, that might be ideal.
Okay, PSA to all men. Just because a girl is wearing a low-cut shirt or a tight top or a fitted outfit doesn't give you permission to just stare at their chest. It makes us so uncomfortable, and if you guys could please stop doing it, it would be amazing. Men will always be like, oh, we don't like being called creeps, or we're so scared to be called creeps, but then you guys make it so difficult for the female species to exist or even wear anything.
Okay, in case you guys didn't hear a word that lady just said, she said don't be creeps, don't stare at her. No matter what she's wearing, no matter what any other woman is wearing, don't stare. I mean, even if she has like a flamingo on her head, you better not stare. Even though it's like totally human, you know, when somebody is just being totally obvious and flaunting, you know, maybe they're even like dancing with that flamingo. Yeah, you better not look unless you're attractive in her eyes. So like, okay, so it gets a little muddied, I know. So if you're attractive, so, you know, you gotta look at the scale. So if you're maybe an 8 or 9 or 10, she probably, you know, she's a 10 up there, so like you might really need to be a 10. Don't look at her unless you're that.
It's amusing to watch women out in public, subtly searching for a husband while pretending they're just going about their day. You see them lingering at Whole Foods, coffee shops, or the gym, casually positioning themselves near the most eligible-looking men. They act uninterested, but their constant glances and awkward small talk give them away. Their expectations are often unrealistic. They want a man with a 6-figure salary, perfect looks, and deep emotional intelligence, yet they reject decent men for minor reasons. The irony is, after all this effort, they'll still complain that there are no good men left. Instead of treating public spaces like a dating app, they might have better luck focusing on becoming genuinely interesting rather than just available. Until then, these social performances remain a source of entertainment.
So you said this about Me Too. So this is probably 40% of the reason I moved to Romania. In Eastern Europe, none of this garbage flies. You go to the police and say he raped me back in 1988. They'll say, well, you should have done something about it back then.
That one small sentence you've taken was from a 1-hour video where I explained that, of course, rape is disgusting. Of course, everybody should be punished for their crimes regardless of when they happen. But people are not perfect, male and female. And if you give women the opportunity to destroy men's lives without evidence, there's going to be a contingent of women who will do that. I'm trying to make a balanced and nuanced argument in a world where people have no attention span. They're going to take a few seconds, put it online, decide someone's good or bad, not be interested in the longer format video. We live in a world now with TikTok videos 5 or 6 seconds long. There's no content.
Most of these women, these feminists, they're very unhappy people, right? It just seethes out of the body. You know when you meet somebody and they seem joyful and that energy is contagious to you? So many of these women, modern women, I don't need a man, this, that, feminism, what's great for women, they just look rancid inside. Right? Like something rotten's coming out. They got an expression all the time. It's like these female CEOs sometimes. I hate to say it. Not all of them, but a lot of them look like they're just inside, just spoiled milk. You know, it's ready to bubble over, and let's just hope you're not in the way when it does.
After years of rejecting men for not meeting unrealistic standards, many women now find themselves older, single, and wondering where all the good men have gone. They spent their youth prioritizing independence and careers and chasing an ideal that didn't exist, only to realize too late that being alone isn't as fulfilling as they thought. The men they once overlooked have moved on, built their lives, and found partners who actually valued them. Meanwhile, these women are left questioning why men no longer approach or commit. The reality is simple. After being dismissed for so long, men stopped chasing and started focusing on themselves. And who can blame them?
With the way my dating life is going right now, I feel like I'm going to be single for a long time. Like a long time. I literally just cannot stand. I cannot stand these vanilla ass men. You're boring. You don't intrigue me. And at this point, I'm like losing faith in all men. I just feel like they all want one thing. And if that's what you want, I'm the wrong bitch. Go somewhere else. I cannot tell another man what I like to do on my free time. I can't do it. And I don't give my attention to anybody. And when I'm finally like, oh, like, he's cute, like, let me talk to him. You're boring! You're boring! You suck!
How do you think men feel when they're typically the ones pulling all of the weight, and in response, they get one-worded responses, 2-hour gaps in conversation, and 0 initiation? The bottom line is that a lot of men today feel like it is pulling teeth to get to know a woman. So if you as a woman don't even want to talk about your hobbies, yet you're telling men that they're too vanilla, they're boring. I'm sorry, is he the only one that's supposed to bring joy and excitement to your life, but you don't provide anything?
Y'all, so I have tea for all of y'all trying to find a husband. Let me put you on game, honey. They got a dating option on Facebook. Okay? It's literally the best place to find a husband. It's the best place to find one because that's where I found all of y'all's. Yeah, all y'all husbands is on Facebook dating.
Hot take. If you're looking for the hotties in New York City, just go to the fancy supermarkets, especially on a Sunday morning. Woo!
Where in Miami are you most likely to meet your husband?
The Miami Heat's playoffs games. The best guys.
If you want hot men, come to a Heat game ASAP.
Where do you go to find a husband? Tinder. You will find all kinds of husbands on Tinder. Don't feel so bad when you're the only one of your friends left that hasn't found their soulmate yet. Because there are so many married men swiping away every day, still looking for their soulmate too.
The unfortunate reality is that it didn't have to be this way. If these women had prioritized genuine connection over perfection, they wouldn't be swiping through dating apps in their 40s, searching for something that was never real to begin with. Choices have consequences, and for many, the consequence is a life that feels lonelier than they ever expected. Meanwhile, the men they dismissed have moved on, building happy, fulfilling lives with partners who value them. It's a clear lesson. You can't spend years treating people as disposable and expect meaningful relationships to be waiting for you when you're finally ready. And that's it for today on Sigma Traits. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and don't forget to ring that notification bell. Support this channel through membership. You can also support through PayPal, link in the description. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you all tomorrow.